Good evening. Call to order the Concord Township Board of Trustee meeting for December 6, 2023. Will you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mrs. Lucci?
Present.
Mr. Dondorfer?
Present.
Mr. McIntosh?
Present. Next order of business, the approval of the minutes. We have two. We have the November 15th regular and 20th special meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the November 15th, 2023 regular trustees meeting minutes.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, I will make a motion to approve the November 20th, 2023 special meeting minutes.
And I will second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Elected officials reports. First report, fiscal officer, Mr. James Tuckett.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. As of November 30th, we were 92% of the way through the calendar year. The treasury balance for the 21 active funds within the township treasury was $7.2 million. The treasury balance includes $1.2 million in funds which are set aside for specific projects. Year-to-date expenditures were 92% of the amount appropriated for 2023. Revenues received year-to-date is 105%. So as you can see, we are well within budget. The real estate taxes revenue will not be received again until late February 2024 when we receive our next tax advance. The state auditors completed the 2022 annual financial audit. The township received a very clean audit with no issues. A special thanks goes out to Cindy Sadler for assisting the auditors with all their requests. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to call our office at 354-7516.
Thank you. Trustees, Mrs. Lucci.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to also say thank you to Jim and Cindy and for another great audit, clean audit. So thank you very much for your hard work and all that. And then I wanted to point out at our last meeting, we didn't recognize your re-election, Mr. McIntosh. So I want to say congratulations and thank you for the great work you do for the township. I mean, you put so much energy and effort into what you do here. I think we're so lucky to have you. You're super smart, talented, and I think you're just what Concord needs. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep,
We had a great tree lighting event last Friday, thanks to Mountain Creek Farms for the tree donation again, as well as help from Rec, Fire, and the Service Department. Also to Dan Maxon and his wife for their continued volunteering in our community. It was also great to have Jim Rowe on hand to light up the tree and Nick Randini for his music. So great event. Thanks, Sean. Today we had a tour of our new Service Department storage building, which looks great. It's great to have our equipment protected and inside rather than outside where things don't maybe last as long. So great job. It looks great. We received an email thanking our EMS staff on some great work they did last weekend helping a young man survive a life-threatening situation. We can't stress enough the importance of a great EMS team, and the training and all the resources that go into it certainly make a difference. And you know, it certainly takes a lot of great resources and staff to be able to continue to support our community, and which with our recent levy failure, it's imperative that we find a way to maintain that level of service. The community is accustomed to that. I think they deserve that, and so we have a lot of work to do to see that support carried through. We have gotten calls on what our next steps are with the levy and failing, so we are working on that, and we appreciate all the support we've gotten and the questions we've gotten from our constituents. And not just with fire, but also with law enforcement. So our job is to keep our community safe and protect those who protect us. We do have the Wreaths Across America event on December 16th, so we look forward to that. Aside from that, that concludes my report. I wish everyone a great rest of your week.
Thank you, Mrs. Lucci. Mr. Dondorfer.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. Yeah, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I did attend the Christmas tree lighting event last Friday. It was very nice. The weather was a little bit warmer. It was great turnout, so thanks for the rec department's work on that. Jim Rowe, our Citizen of the Year, turned the lights on to help us enter the Christmas season. It was a great event. A lot of people turned out, so it was great. We had our staff meeting, covered some events that are going on at the different departments within the Concord. Within Concord, everybody's doing a great job, and we got updated. We did tour the new service department storage building that just came into existence and opened up, and it's keeping all our equipment top notch. Instead of being outside in the inclement weather, it's inside, and it's a great building next to the new fire department. I would like to thank the service department for the great job that they did during our first snow event of the year. They did a tremendous job, good workforce, so we appreciate them being out there and taking care of business. I did have a couple calls since the last meeting in regards to our safety services and our law enforcement officers, as well as our firefighters. A lot of great feedback from residents on the questions that they had, so I appreciate that feedback. We are going to move forward and hopefully engage the community more and address the needs and do what we need to sustain the level of safety services that we're accustomed to here in Concord Township. It's very important. Had another contact. We received some correspondence to trustees regarding a traffic concern near a new residential development that I'm going to work on here in the next week or so. And other than that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dondorfer. Well, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I want to thank Jim and Cindy and the staff here at Town Hall for the great job of the audit. I'm very thankful for the fact that after nearly 2 years, we recently opened our brand new fire station across the street. We had an opening event a few weeks ago right after our last meeting, and it was really well attended. We got to have the wet down ceremony, and Chief Sabo explained the importance of that. And it was a very tough project with the challenges that came after supply chain and all that. So as I said, when we opened the building, it looks like a lot, but when you put the safety and the training features in, it's about keeping our EMS and firefighters safe and about giving them the tools they need to do the job properly. This is the modern fire service. It's not overbuilt. It's just what we need. 'Tis the season for colds and infections, and I really am regretting that I wasn't able to make the Christmas tree lighting on Friday, listening to you guys talk about it. I always look forward to that, and definitely was sitting home thinking about everybody, and hope everyone has a great Christmas season, and it sounds like it was a great event. The service department garage is fantastic. I know that we're all happy that we get to store our equipment indoors now. And once again, we had a snow event, and I didn't have any calls from residents complaining. And the service department always does a fantastic job, so we want to thank them. Just before the Thanksgiving holiday, I took some time to participate in a ride-along with the Lake County Sheriff's Department. Back in college many years ago, I spent a lot of time in a police car as a reserve and explorer and summer jobs, and so it wasn't a new experience to me, but I had never done that around here, and I wanted to finally get a chance to see how it's done in Concord and how Lake County handles it. I was blown away, very impressed with the young, very energetic officers that we have, very professional. The start of the shift was kind of quiet, but that didn't last. I ended up riding for a total of 6 hours, which is half of a shift. They run 12s. I caught the tail end of one and the start of another. Happened to hit some peak times, and it was busy. In fact, it was so busy there was a point where the car I was riding in, which was assigned to Concord, was the only car available for calls. And it was interesting to listen to the call flow, to listen to the officers move around. I know that during the levy, a lot of people said, well, we don't see them. And Carl, you and I took a lot of calls and said, hey, they're there. I know, reviewing the report that we're going to hear a little bit today, once again, we're over 1,000 incidents a month. And when this board was together, I know that number wasn't at 1,000. It was like 800, 900, 700. So it's growing. Not to scare residents, but there were 6 arrests. 2 of those were felonies. There was a solid drug investigation. So Concord is a safe place, but if we end up having to take away law enforcement or deal with cuts, this is the kind of stuff that might not get the attention that we would like to see. To piggyback off Mrs. Lucci's comments about keeping our community safe and the great job that not only the law enforcement does, but the fire department in saving people's lives. These are important issues we're taking up going into 24 with our budget. Since then, I've spoke with several residents that were very disheartened and upset that it's passed, and even some have come forward asking what they can do to help, so that's encouraging. I've also engaged on social media with some people that had questions or didn't understand things, and I'm correcting some thinking that, you know, the new construction in Concord doesn't grow our budgets. They stay the same. When new houses get built, taxpayers' share of those collections go down. And I know a lot of people were asking why it was so much, why did we need so much? Well, the budget hadn't increased in 8 years, and just for example, hiring the additional deputies that we agreed to hire in our contract, that project coming to fruition was to see a 60% increase in cost to the sheriff's patrol. Just that one part of the safety service budget, not to mention that the fire department hasn't had new money in 8 years, the contract hasn't, you know, and we're not immune in Concord from inflation. We're feeling it just as much everyone else is. So we'll continue to be engaged on this topic. We're going to be out there talking with people and getting in front of this issue, and there'll be more to come. So we ask the residents, please stay tuned. And with that, concludes my report.
Thanks.
Next report, Department Administrator Rose.
Thank you, Mr. McIntosh, members of the board, Mr. Technit, members of the audience, good evening. I'll just start with one quick item on the agenda, which is item A. This is a vote to continue our relationship with Civil Environmental Consultants, CEC Incorporated. This is for the engineering services for calendar year 24. Just gets that in place, so I appreciate a positive vote there. I spent the day in Columbus at the State House. I met with a number of state representatives. The Clout Executive Board was able to go down there and get some appointments set up, and we were able to discuss bills and issues directly related to townships. One issue that's brewing very quickly is the issue 2 marijuana law. On Monday, the Senate introduced changes to that law that cut out any of the local revenue share from the, I guess you call it the additional recreational marijuana tax, sales tax, and 36.6% of that tax was supposed to go back to local municipalities and townships that had a recreational marijuana dispensary open within their community. And the Senate raised, in their proposal on Monday, they raised that tax from 10 to 15%, and then they decided that the state would keep it all and they weren't going to share any with the local governments. We took great exception to that, and I did have a conversation very briefly with Senator Serino, and I also talked to Representative Callender and Representative Troy. And on the way back from Columbus, Representative Callender's legislative aide called me and said that they have put the funds that would go to the local governments back in during the negotiations between the House and the Senate. I'll believe it when I see it. They were still negotiating, and they're probably still negotiating now. The other problem with that, the other problem that Clout and townships have is the Senate also inserted some language that prohibits townships from restricting or preventing a recreational marijuana dispensary from coming into their township. Now, those would apply to those townships that don't have zoning regulations, and there's quite a few. That particular instance was also changed during the negotiation session, is my understanding. So we'll see what the final cut is. They're trying to rush something to get it to the governor before the law. I think it's midnight. So I think it takes effect at 12:01. So we had some other discussions regarding House Bill 187. I had those discussions with Representative Byrd and Hall. They are the sponsors of House Bill 187. This is the bill that was introduced that forces the auditor to do property reevaluations differently than they're doing them right now due to some of the things that came out of Southern Ohio. But after it came out of committee, the changes on how the auditor reappraises properties for the sexennial evaluation, that was all stripped out of the bill, and they're going to leave that alone. And what they did in its place is and the formula's not done yet, but the intent is to loosen the guardrails on the homestead exemption. I believe right now homestead exemption is $26,100, and they're going to loosen that and tier it. And I've heard up to $60,000, $70,000 with various tiers. So we'll have to wait and see how that comes out. But they're trying to push that bill and get it done by the end of the year. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. The last thing that came out of this was one of the common themes that was related to this meeting that the Cloud Executive Committee felt was important was to talk to representatives and senators about economic development. You know, with the Intel plant that went in Central Ohio, it was New Albany was very quick to annex the neighboring township and gobble up all that land. That's primarily due to economic development incentives that only cities can provide, that townships don't have in their tool bag. So we have asked them if we bring you some proposals to put better economic development tools at the disposal of the townships, and they said that they would take a look at it. So the Cloud Executive Committee plans to go back in March and have another round of discussions. We were very encouraged, and we'll also be talking about the Township Omnibus Bill during that next round of meetings in March. But all in all, I thought it was a very good day. I did get a chance to have a longer conversation with Representative Callender and Representative Troy. Made a plug for capital budget requests that'll be going in soon, and so we'll see how that goes. And then finally, I look forward to seeing everybody. One of my favorite events of the year is the Race Across America, and that is on Saturday, the December 16th. So I look forward to seeing everybody there. And that concludes my report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Rose. Fire Department. And this evening we have Deputy Chief Bedell and stepping in for Chief Sabo.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Evening.
So first, I'd like to start off by thanking everybody that came out to our ribbon cutting ceremony last month. Great time. I think we had a lot of positive feedback, residents coming through. It was just great to see a lot of the community out there. Since that event, we've had a lot of people coming up, hey, we weren't able to make it. You know, can I get up to see the station? We want to see everybody. So if you have a day in mind, give us a call. We can put you in the book. Or if you call that day and say, hey, is somebody there in 10 minutes? Usually we're able to accommodate anybody bringing their family in. I know today we had a couple families through. We want you to see our new building. It's yours. So please come see it, enjoy it. It's all the guys are very proud of it. We're starting to feel like it's home to us, and we got a couple guys that are pretty fanatic about Christmas decorations right now. So if you have some little ones and they want to see what a couple of our talented guys have done, please stop by. We'd love to have you out. Chief Sabo and I had the privilege to serve lunch today at the senior lunch at the community center with Sean and Susie and Rachel. That was a great time, and we appreciate the opportunity to be there and take part in that. That was a great event, and we had a lot of fun doing that. So stats for November, we did 281 runs. 180 of those are EMS, 101 were non-EMS, and 5 fires. Mutual aid given, we had 36. Mutual aid received were 10, and our overlapping calls were 96 runs in November. So again, staying in that 30-40% run volume where when we're on one call, we're getting dispatched for a second. And it doesn't stop at 2. Sometimes it's 2, 3, 4, and that's when we see the mutual aid calls kick in. Fire prevention wise, we had 60 inspections, taking about 90 hours. We did not have any plan reviews. Con Ed, we had 6 hours there. We hosted the Lake County Fire Prevention Association monthly meeting at our new training center in our downstairs. So that was, I believe, our first class there. That was nice to get that broken in. So a lot of review of the new fire code that's supposed to be kicking into place in '24. We're looking to get that going. We're currently operating off 2017. So it'll be nice to have a new code in place for our, as technology changes, we need to move forward, and getting new codes allows us to keep up with the times. Public education, we finished up our fire prevention education. We had we had 80 children still left that we didn't get to take care of in October, so that trickled over into November. We've partnered up with Painesville Township Fire Department with Riverside. They have developed a program for senior students who not sure which way they want to go as far as career paths. So they're exposing them to first responders, nonprofit organizations, and they asked if we would put together some curriculum where we could have the students out to our place and to Painesville Township. And so we've put together a plan where the kids will come out. They did a tour the other day. They're going to get CPR training coming up. We're going to do an EMS day. We'll have them for fire, and then we'll finish that up with Painesville Township, most likely at the Lake County Fairgrounds, where we'll have all of our equipment on display. They can have the opportunity to touch the truck, use some of the tools, just kind of get them some awareness of what the careers look like as a public service. We did employee training, CPR and first aid training with the staff of Quail Hollow Country Club. So that's always good. A lot of our businesses do call us. I know today we were out at Stephen Douglas, did CPR and first aid and AED training. The staff really, they spend the money to get the AEDs, and it's nice when we can go out there and make sure that their employees know how to use those life-saving tools in the proper manner. Knox Box program. We had 2 installations this month. I'm sure a lot of people saw last Thursday I-90 was closed for a bit. We made national news there for the caramel and chocolate syrup that was all over the roadway. The nice thing that I can report is there were no injuries. So those were 2 sign-offs. So that's nice that we were able to. No one was injured in that, but it was quite a headache on the roadways. Lastly, just have a safe holiday season. Please watch how many plugs we're all putting together when we're out there doing those decorations, and be cognizant of what that can do. Every so often we get, a fire that's a result of an overload of a circuit. So, kind of channel that Clark Griswold, if you will, and be mindful of what you're doing. And that's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Deputy Chief.
Service Department, Mr. Brown.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Service Department, the month of November, we wrapped up some minor road repairs with some full depth crack repairs on the College Hills and Kellogg Park Estate subdivision. Our crews continued with ditch maintenance, snow barricade installs, and maintenance of stormwater easements throughout the township. On November 28th, the Service Department responded to the snow and ice conditions. Our crews pre-salted the roadways the afternoon of the 27th in anticipation of the forecasted snow. Crews then responded at 3 a.m. on the 28th to plow and treat the roadways, applying approximately 170 tons of salt. The Service Department reminds motorists when approaching plow trucks to allow the operators room so they can perform their job safely. Concord Township's annual curbside yard waste pickup took place on November 20th. Major Waste performed the pickup for us. The yard waste drop-off closed on Thursday, November 30th. Many residents took advantage of both of these services provided by the township. Some exciting news in the Service Department, as the trustees mentioned, we received the keys to our new 60 by 80 storage building. Our crews immediately began working on getting our equipment that has been stored outdoors into the building and out of the weather. The building will house all of our heavy equipment, such as excavators, backhoes, skid steers, and some other trucks. The building will help prolong the life of our equipment and protect it from the harsh outdoor conditions. We thank the board for their continued support of the Service Department. Residents with questions or concerns are encouraged to contact the Service Department at 440-350-3225 or by email at concordtwp.com under Service Department. And we hope everybody has a safe and healthy holiday. That concludes my report.
Thanks, Tim.
Zoning Department, Ms. Freeman.
Good evening.
Good evening.
During the month of November, zoning department staff processed 24 zoning permit applications and collected just over $3,000 in fees. Additionally, staff was busy performing inspections, completing 68 property inspections with open zoning permits and issuing 29 zoning certificate of compliances. Staff also received and followed up on 5 new complaints about potential zoning violations. Next week, the Board of Zoning Appeals will hold their regular meeting. The detailed agenda can be found on the township website at concordtwp.com. And should residents have any questions or concerns, please reach out to the zoning department. And with that, I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Recreation.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Thankfully, the month of November was a relatively quiet month for the Recreation Department in terms of special events. Our one special event that we had, I ran an outdoor movie at Lamouth Middle School. It turned out to be a great night. We aired Super Mario Bros. I know John Patriarca was there with his wife and kids, so it was a great family event. Wanted to say thanks to AJ Zappatelli and Zappatelli Auto Care Center who covered the cost of the event, and then to our local business as well, Scafco, who built a 5-foot stage that we then were able to put the screen on top of so everyone can see. It's a very good event, and we'll be doing a lot more of those in 2024. So, and appreciate all the community members that came out and enjoyed that. So, while it did occur in December, not November, we held our annual tree lighting ceremony and Santa party here at Town Hall. I thank you to Amy and Carl for coming out. Morgan, we obviously miss you as well. It was a great turnout. Good seeing so many families and young kids there. It was a really good turnout for us. And thank you to Jim Rowe, our Citizen of the Year. I think that's his final duty of the year as well. We threw him into a few situations there, so happy to have him turn the lights on for us to Mountain Creek Tree Farm for donating the tree. And I would like to give a special shout out to Rachel Lamb, who did pretty much all the decorating, decorated the tree, the gazebo, and the meeting room here as well, where Santa was. So really appreciate all her time and effort that she put in for that. So now some upcoming events today. Well, actually today we had our senior holiday luncheon. We had about 65 seniors in attendance. Special thanks to Reserve House Catering, who did the food for that, and to Mapleview Skilled Nursing and Rehab Facility for donating cupcakes, and University Hospitals was there as well, and they donated a massive cake, and we're there handing out goodies for all the seniors to take home with them. And lastly, to Chief Sabo and Deputy Chief Bedell for coming and serving food to everyone. So thank you to them. Excuse me. Our last event is December 20th, and that's our Christmas themed bingo for our 55 plus group. Just some of our basic events that are still going on, but closing down for the end of the year here. So Mind and Body Martial Arts every Tuesday and Thursday. Our kids ballet classes are on Thursday evenings. We have our yoga classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yoga Pilates Fusion on Wednesday evenings. We have our last Make and Take soap class with Joanna Orgamon. That's December 18th, and that's a Christmas soap. And then our last Let's Cook with Donna Altman is Thursday, December 14th. I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Mushroom Bourguignon. So, whatever that is.
Sounds fancy.
Our last couple special events that we have for the Recreation Department for the year. We have our deadline to register for the Light Up Concord contest, and that is tomorrow is the deadline. You can register online or call the Recreation Department. We have a great turnout so far. I think we're at just about 25 houses in that contest. We have different categories. You can do traditional lights, which is red or green, white lights, lights set up to music, and then the Clark Griswold contest. So online voting will take place between December 12th and 20th, and then winners will be announced after that. This coming Saturday is our Letters to Santa with Mrs. Claus. That's held at the community center. Mrs. Claus will be there to read a book and then help kids write letters to Santa. That's $10 a child. We still have a couple spots left in that, but we are getting pretty filled up. If you're interested, just call the Recreation Department as well. And then lastly, you can still sign up to receive a personal video message from Santa. That deadline is December 17th, and you'll receive a short video before Christmas. Old Stone Schoolhouse is officially closed until spring. I wanted to again say thanks and acknowledge Mr. Maxon for all his work that he does here and around Concord. He plays a vital role in what we do, and we can't thank him enough for all his service throughout the year. Looking ahead for the Recreation Department, definitely going to be resting up here. It's been a very busy year for us, so looking forward to relaxing here at the end of the year. But we do have a lot of new and exciting things coming out in 2024. I do want to make a note and let our residents know that in 2024 we will be moving to 2 printed grapevines. That is down from 1 from the normal 3. So you would normally be expecting to receive one soon, but that is not going to be the case. The next one you will receive will be released in February, and will cover the months of March through mid to late September. So that'll be our spring, summer. And then we will have a fall, winter that will cover September through February. So that's a slight change from what's been done in the past. So that just makes signing up for our monthly e-grapevine even more important, so that you can get up to date on all the new programs and what's happening with all the other departments. You can do that by going to concordtwp.com and click on the sign up for e-grapevine. Or you can call us at any time and we can help you out. Not only that, but any questions about the printing grapevine or any other questions you might have, call us at 440-639-4650. And I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and look forward to 2024. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
And Concord Law Enforcement Lieutenant, if I get this right, Musla. Good evening.
Good evening, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant Musla, Sheriff's Office. Glad you were able to do a ride along with us and just kind of see how things are going in Concord and how busy we are. Just like you said, it has been busy in the month of November. We had total calls for the month was 1,014 calls in total. We had 5 injury accidents that our guys handled, 13 property damage accidents. In reference to arrests, there were 6 arrests made, 4 of them for operating a vehicle intoxicated. 1 was a felony assault, another one was a felony possession of drugs. Total of 40 alarms that were responded to. Traffic stops, we had 39 citations, 123 warnings, and 7 were driving under suspension. Crime prevention wise, we had 37 business checks and 74 community policings, which is either, the guys would go to a neighborhood and just kind of patrol that for a little bit, whether it's a citizen would call in and say they would like some extra patrol, or just guys being proactive on it. Reference to new investigations, ones to note was the assaults or felonious assaults. We had 3 assaults. One of them was felonious. It was a stabbing on Coleridge Drive. The person is doing okay now, but it's still under investigation, so we don't have a lot on it. But it was a juvenile who was struck by a knife. Breaking and enterings into vehicles, we had 3 of those in Concord. Disorderly conducts, we had 1. A total of 13 disturbances that we responded to, 5 domestic violence. Drug investigations, we had 7. One of them was initiated from a traffic stop on 44. Mental health calls, emergency admissions, we had 4 of those. Opiate overdoses, we had 2 in Concord. 3 new sex offenses that were reported. We had 6 shots fired complaints. One of them is still under investigation, but it did start at 84 in Chestnut there by the freeway and ended, it was Cherry Tree Lane off of 84. It's 2 guys that had an altercation that were firing back and forth at each other. Those 2 are also fine. We had 18 new theft reports last month. There was 2 stolen purses stolen from the Goddard School. Credit cards were taken and used in Columbus. And we had 1 vandalism, 1 warrant arrest, 1 weapon call. And that concludes the report.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Audience portion, seeing and hearing none. Old business, of which there is none, we'll get into our new business this evening.
Mr.
Chairman, I move to enter into professional services agreement as needed with CEC Incorporated not to exceed $25,000 for the 2024 calendar year.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 3 ayes.
Mr. Chair, these next two are just simply certificates to be read. There's no actual vote there, so I apologize for putting the word vote there.
Okay.
Okay, and yes, as usual, you're going to read those both.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The first one is the Eastern Lake County Chamber of Commerce 2024 Beacon Award winner. And this certificate goes to the Painesville Railroad Museum, which is the 2024 Beacon Award winner. On behalf of Concord Township, we congratulate the Western Reserve Railroad Association, DBA, the Painesville Railroad Museum, as being selected as the Eastern Lake County Chamber of Commerce 2024 Beacon Award winner. The Painesville Railroad Museum has had a great impact on the city of Painesville and the Lake County community. The museum saved and restored the Painesville Railroad Depot, added the replica Collinwood 999 engine, and constructed an engine barn for the steam engine, added a railroad boxcar on the grounds, and constructed new sidewalks, all of which have brought great awareness to the depot and museum, making it a destination spot to visit. In addition, the museum holds model railroading workshops, model train, flea, and household goods markets, and participates in local community events such as the City of Painesville Friday Night Car Show, the Lake County Fair Parade, Euclid Beach Day, and Last Stop Willoughby Day. The Painesville Railroad Museum also holds social gatherings such as weddings, showers, retirement parties, and is open to the public on set days and times throughout the year. It is an expression of appreciation to be awarded the 2024 Beacon Award for the significant contribution made to residents and businesses in the city of Painesville and the Lake County community. We congratulate the Painesville Railroad Museum, signed Concord Township Board of Trustees. And then the Eastern Lake County Chamber of Commerce 2024 Business of the Year. Global Real Estate Advisors is the 2024 Business of the Year. On behalf of Concord Township, we congratulate Global Real Estate Investors as being selected as the Eastern Lake County Chamber of Commerce 2024 Business of the Year winner. Recognized as a 6-time Fast Track 50 emerging company and 2-time Weatherhead 100 winner, Global Real Estate Advisors was founded in 2008 by Neil Sawicki with a focus on commercial real estate. Global has been influential in the success of many local businesses, guiding them through the buying and selling, investing, and leasing of commercial properties throughout Lake County. Global staff extends a greater level of service to its clients through knowledge and involvement in the Lake County community, which has led to success with involvement and participation as members in all 3 Lake County Chambers of Commerce, sponsorship of multiple golf outings and chamber events, serving on the Board of Trustees for Mentor Rotary, Lake County Development Council, United Way, and also as a member of AWT. In addition, the founder, Neil Sawicki, who is a Leadership Lake County alumni, is also involved with the Fraternal Order of Eagles and the American Legion. Global Real Estate Advisors has left a footprint in Eastern Lake County with selling and developing the I-90 State Route 528 interchange, as well as helping the needs of other clients throughout the Lake County area. It is an expression of appreciation to be awarded the 2024 Business of the Year for their significant contribution made to local businesses and residents in the Lake County community. Congratulations to Global Real Estate Advisors, signed the Concord Township Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Mr. Rose.
Thank you.
Future meetings announcement, Jim?
Yes, on December 8th at 8 a.m., a JED meeting will be held at Town Hall. On December 13th at 7 p.m., a BZA meeting will be held at Town Hall. On December 20th, trustee office hours will be held from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. in the Town Hall conference room. And also on December 20th, the trustee meeting will be held at Town Hall at 7:30 p.m.
All right, thank you. And if that's all, we will conclude our meeting.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.